Hi, everybody. It's Colleen Pearl and Cleo the Seer on PoliTarology. Welcome to another Friday night of us girls just chatting about it. And yeah, so I'm really jazzed to have my sister with me. Hi, how you
Hi,
doing?
Call.
It's nice to see
Good.
you. It's been a
I,
while.
I still can't figure out how to get to the behind the chatters so I can star questions and stuff. Hold on.
Oh,
Let me just
oh,
star
just
some.
just just move your mouse up over them. Don't you see the little
Okay. All right. Yes, I do. But I was looking for something at the top of the chat section that's.
Well, let me show you because we don't have anything starred yet. Now you see starred, right? Because I starred something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Duh. I'm sorry. I haven't been on very much for a while, but
And apparently that medicine is not working. So I would tell your doctor. So that's what I want to say. I'm going to unstar that. You can star whatever you want, and we will go at it. Now, before we get too far into things, I just want to give everybody a little I don't know, a little debriefing on the fact that I went to see Kamala in New York City on Wednesday night with my friend Kathy Beal, and we we had great seats. We were able to see everything, and it was an amazing conversation. They called it a conversation about her book, and it was the energy in the room in the theater was just crazy. It was just so rich with love, really, just all these people. And I thought it would be all women, but it wasn't. It was a completely like good mix, a really, really good mix of every demographic you could think of: young, old, fat, short, brown, white, yellow, green. I mean, just so many different kinds of people were there. I mean, yeah, there were a lot of women, but it was really 50-50, I think, women and men.
Wow.
And then every kind of, like I said, demographic you could think of was there. And now I live outside of New York, so it's about a 45-minute drive to go into the city. And we decided to drive because we got the tickets back in August. And at that point, we were like, do we think this is going to be okay? Do we think something's going to happen? Then we found out that the UN meeting was going to be taking place this whole week. And the UN is on the other side of the city from where we were. We were on the west side, the UN's on the east side. So that helped in terms of traffic and things like that, because whenever the president is in town, the traffic just is bananas because they have to block things off, and they just go crazy with that. But our trip into the city was flawless. Yes, there was traffic, but not a ton of traffic. It was really easy. We we decided to park at the parking lot that was adjacent the theater, which usually would be like, oh, it's just, you can't get in, it's just booked, because you can book ahead of time, online. So we did that. We paid for it and everything up front. So we just drove into the city, made our way to the theater, found the parking, turned and went in, and they took the keys to the car and they just took care of that. That was flawless. And then we walked in front of the theater, and we found a restaurant two doors down from the theater that just looked perfect. Mexican food. Who doesn't love that? That's my favorite food. So we sat down, had dinner until about 45 minutes before the time, and then we got in line because there was a huge line. No matter whether you had tickets or not, there was a huge line. And we got in line, and it was very nice. Everybody in line was very chatty, very happy. The energy was very buoyant and just kind of joyous. Just the anticipation was very happy. Um, there was when we first got out of the car and walked past the theater, there was a small group of people protesting Palestine, protesting the Gaza G word. I don't think I should say that word on my channel, but I mean, it is a G word. That is what's happening there, and they were protesting that. And people didn't want the noise, but nobody was saying, "Hey, get out of here!" Nobody. And I do kind of see why they were protesting her for that, because she didn't stand up for that. She still hasn't come out against that, and maybe that's a failing. But Also, maybe that's just not her focus right now. I don't know. I'm kind of giving her a pass because I love her so much. But when we came out of the restaurant to get in line, now there were two small groups doing the same thing, and they were loud. They were loud. But it was interesting. We got in to sit down and got to our seats, and we're talking, and there's people, and it's still there's this lovely kind of. I felt like I was going to a VFW hall for a wedding of a good friend or something. It was just this nice energy, very communal, very neighborhoody, just not it wasn't New York. It's like, wait, am I still in New York? Is this really happening in New York? It was really, really nice energy. And about 10 minutes before the time that was going to start, which was 8 o'clock, I nudged Kathy and I said, do you hear that? And she goes, no, I don't hear anything. And I said, exactly. They got him to stop. So, so I guess they stopped the noise for most of it, about a quarter to the end of it. And I think they knew when the ending was, but about a quarter to, and I don't know if it was 9:30 or 10, or I don't know what the time was because it kind of flew. But about 15 minutes before it ended, some of it started up again a little bit, but it wasn't, really super, super disruptive. So, oh, she did. Okay, great. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you. Um, so it was a really nice, it was a really, really nice presentation, as it were. Doug was there, and a lot of her family was there. Um, it was just really, really nice. We had a good time. She did address many things. And backstage, my sister asked, do you think that she was basically saying or just claiming that she had won? And I think that was also not the point. I think the point was that she knows that she did win. I think she knows that. And she didn't say, it was rigged and they're counting and she didn't get into any of that, but she did say that it was the closest presidential race of the 21st century, and even going back 50 years into the previous century, it was the one of the closest really race, which I hear really got under the skin of the orange one.
Oh yeah,
And
he hated it. He hated it. And he
yeah,
said, he repeated it in his Truth Social, and he said she should apologize. Or no, he said I expect an apology. And I'm like, apology for what? What do you want an apology about? But I guess if you went through and looked at everything in the 21st century, there might be some. I guess you could kind of debate. I think when she said that it was the closest race in the 21st century, I'm thinking, I think she just said that just to piss him off, just to irritate him, because it's kind of the kind of thing that he would say, and she
yep.
just kind of throwing it back at him. So
Hmm.
I kind of like that because it may not have been the closest race in the 21st century, but it was an extremely, extremely close race by 1.5% on the popular vote. So there was a lot going on there, but I kept thinking, what is she really thinking of? And I thought, yeah, I bet she just getting so sick of him. She just like poking the bear, like, yeah, and she knew he would respond to that.
Yeah, yeah, she absolutely did.
And what he's really done is bring up the fact that she has a book, that it has some stuff in it that people might want to read. So he's really kind of helping to sell her book.
And this is what he always does. That's what Jimmy Kimmel was saying when he came back on air on Tuesday night. He really helped boost the ratings of the areas where it is showing. I haven't seen the news much today and yesterday, so I don't know what happened, but I think I heard something about the other affiliates that are not showing it. Something stirring with that, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe.
they are. They're kind of renegotiating with those people because in Seattle we can't get it shows up on if you want to record something, it shows up that it's going to be recorded, but it ends up being a news broadcast and not Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a bunch of places where you can't actually see it. You can come on YouTube and watch it. So that's what I did.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, they're kind of saying, you know what? Let's let everybody see this and just quit being so weird about it.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing, or what Trump is doing, is trying to interfere with the freedom of speech or
Yeah.
the right to say whatever we want to say. And
And the advertisers that advertise on his show are losing money because of this. So
yeah,
that's no bueno. And the TV stations, they want to get they want to get the eyeballs on their shows for the commercials and for people buying things. And it's just it's a losing thing. It's just a
well, and what I
losing.
really love though was that Jimmy Kimmel had said he brought it all together and said really what this is, it's just anti-American.
Hmm.
And I just love it that he brought it up that way, and he's got so many supporters. And like you said, I mean, he had more people view that show. Over 6.5 million people viewed that first show that came on. I don't know about the second or
Wow.
whatever, but yeah, I mean, he's and Trump went after Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon, saying they would be the next because he's looking around like, okay, we got rid of Stephen Colbert, now we got rid of Jimmy Kimmel, and now we want Fallon and Seth Meyers off of there because they're just no talent. Nobody's interested in them, and I'm thinking, I am. I've always been interested in
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And they have like the highest ratings of all the shows across television in general. So, that's nonsense. That's probably one of the reasons people still watch regular TV is for those shows. So,
Well, yeah, because they actually condense a lot of stuff that they're not the news, and they don't pretend to be the news. They're just bringing up stuff, and it's in a humorous way too, and it makes Trump look like a fool, and so he doesn't like that. But he
mhm.
is a fool, so what does he expect?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. It's just really bad. But it's bad for business what they're doing. It's really, really bad for business. And
yes.
Kimmel's getting a lot out of it, and all the other ones will probably get a lot out of it too. And I hear they're even renegotiating about the Stephen Colbert firing. They're even looking at that and trying to renegotiate it because they realize it's not what people want. And just like his failed lawsuits, he's probably going to fail at this too. So, that's what I think is happening. It's going to be a nothing burger is what it's going to end up being.
Well, it is, but I'll tell you that the fact that it's coming up this month, along with a lot of other things this month, this is going to be the kind of stuff that's going to eventually bring Trump down. Because we see more and more what they're doing, and some people had said in the chat they wanted to talk about what is his name, Hegseth or Pete
Hmm.
Hegseth,
Yes.
that he's bringing all these the military high ups in for a big chat on next week.
Hmm.
And what's going on with that? Well, that's another thing. I mean, it's what Trump's trying to do is develop a military that goes directly to him, that he can use it any way he wants. And because he's probably got the word that the way he is going to come down is through the military. So he's thinking, get rid of all these big generals and whatever they are, the higher ups, the people in the know. Get rid of those guys. So then put in a bunch of people that will be respectful to Trump and loyal. No, not respectful, loyal to Trump.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that he has whole control over that. All these things he's doing about the speech and the controlling of the military and sending military into different cities and stuff. This is all. This is each little thing is a nail in the coffin on this. The Trump administration.
Yeah.
But
So for Hegseth's thing, the Washington Post just now, just like 40, less than a minute ago, 41 seconds ago, they said, the it says new details emerge on Hegseth's unusual mass gathering of top brass. The defense secretary is expected to lecture about the warrior ethos for less than an hour, according to multiple people familiar with the event, but top generals are bracing for possible firings or demotions. And I think that, I can read a little bit more. Short notice, warrior ethos. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's all we really need to know. So, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to
So
fire
he's,
him.
yeah, but you know, I don't know. They do all these things and they're just stepping on their own toes, you know? They just don't do things that's right. I mean, last week Trump contacting Zelensky and saying, "Yeah, I think you can keep your whole country." Like, oh, okay, great. That's what we wanted the whole time. Can you give us our money now? Can you give us our arms and everything now? Let's just do that. So, you know. So anyway, all right. Well, so Kamala was great. It was very inspiring. She's fed up with the way the system is behaving. I mean, without her saying it, she seems pretty fed up with the way all of the rest of the Democrats, except for a handful, are behaving because, you can only write so many strongly worded letters before you just have to realize that's not effective.
Right,
So,
right.
but she is effective, and she's doing this book tour. She's going to be on it for a while, so she's taking her message to the people. She's listening to the people. She said she wants to listen to people without coming back at them and saying, "Well, can I count on your vote?" She doesn't. She doesn't want a quid pro quo. She just wants to hear what people have to say. Um, and I haven't read all of her book yet, but it's inspiring. It's very inspiring. So that's what we have to say about Kamala. So now let's move on to some stuff, some headlines, some PoliTarology. What do you have for me to read on? Anything? Any idea why the military? Yeah. Okay. So let's read on that.
And that's
Yeah.
the article you just were talking about.
Yeah. But let's see what we have here. Pete Hegseth. Yeah. He's going to speak for less than an hour. Okay. So they got to fly all the way around the world. They couldn't have done a Zoom.
Really? Did they have to actually fly in for this?
Yeah. To be, I think he's going to try to humiliate them in some way.
Well, do you want me to go ahead with my thoughts on this?
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, I think what it's going to do is it's going to alert the military of just how they're going to be trying to manipulate things, and I think that this is where the military gets their backup. I mean, you cannot just come in and fire a bunch of people for no reason, and that's what they've been doing across the board in the country, and the goddamn Supreme Court has allowed this to happen too. And there's problems with that. But this thing about calling in the military, I think what the idea is to remove the people that are not loyal to Trump and replace them with people that have no knowledge how to actually do their job as a captain, an admiral, whatever they are in the military, and just yes men, bring yes men in so that Trump has better control over the military. Personally, and from my guides, I don't see it happening. I don't see I don't see Hegseth and Trump being successful in this merger of trying to replace people in the military, just like they've done with all the federal jobs and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't see it happening because I think there's going to be some people, maybe some people will get let go, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that they see what the whole picture is. Okay, what do you got?
So I was just looking for something and I can't find it. Okay. So I think that I think that he's going to try really hard to not be drunk. First card up I get is temperance. I think that somebody has spoken to him about his drinking and he doesn't want to like have alcohol breath or, be two, three sheets to the wind. I think he's going to try really, really hard. But nonetheless, this is going to be an ending for him. This is going to push them to the point where they're like, no, we're not going along with this guy. And the thing is, and that you have to remember is that he, they have to he is the Secretary of War now, not even defense. He's the Secretary of War. And they do have to, is this a loyalty test? Are they getting support to attack? Okay, I think that's later. I think this is just softening the ground. I think this is just the meeting to talk about what the Washington Post said, the warrior ethos. You're warriors and you need to go to war, 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 war. We renamed the department war, war. So they're doing that. But I think him in the meeting he is going to try very hard not to appear drunk. And it his very appearance on the stage and the first few words that he utter is just going to be they're going to kind of back up and realize that they got to be very careful because what he's asking of them seems like something they should do, but the actual orders of and directives is not something that they can do. It's illegal, what he's
Well,
asking.
that's what I was thinking. That something here is he's going to do something that goes against the law somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
But I don't really, I don't know what the little rules and laws are for the military, but I don't think that you can just come in and change everything for your benefit. And it's a Trump thing. Pete, this Hegseth guy is just a
Fox News anchor. Hmm.
that, and he's just a speech person for Trump. Because Trump
Yeah.
can't come in and say it, so Trump tells him what to say, what to do. He goes in and does it, and we can only hope that he's had a few drinks beforehand because he's gonna. You're right. I think that the people that are coming to this are going to be looking around like,
Is this the drunk guy? Is he drunk?
but not just the drunk, not just blaming it on a drunk guy, but the fact of the things that he's saying is so out of character, out of the realm of how the military is run. The military, like everybody else in politics, goes by the Constitution, and whatever there is in the Constitution about this, Hegseth will probably overstep his bounds with that, and
Yeah.
that's probably where the illegalities come in.
Yeah.
And I just see, let's say how far he makes it with this, and if anything happens with it, next thing you know, it'll be in court.
Hmm.
Is it okay for them to do this? And if it goes to the Supreme Court will say, yeah, go ahead, do it. Everybody else is going to be looking around going, no, whatever
Yeah.
they're trying to do, there's going to be, they're going to have their backs up. They're not going to go for it.
Yeah. Well, he thinks that he's going to get everything that he wants. He thinks that they're just going to have to do everything that he says, but they're not. I mean, in actuality, this is going to really tie him up and restrict him because I maybe a few of them are going to take him aside and talk to him and say, son, do you understand what the Constitution is? Do you understand the vow that you took? Do you understand what that means? Because I think a lot of them are going to be like, because it doesn't sound like it from what you said. But I got cards here that are very not good for him. Very, very not good. We get the betrayal card, really, about what people are thinking about him, that he is betraying the country. We get some legal stuff coming in. We get his actions are kind of out of control. But the final card is the moon. So it's going to be very unclear what happens to him or as a result of this speech to them. It's going to be we're not going to know for a while how they respond to it, how they really feel about it, how they respond to it, and what, if any, actions are that the military brass are going to take in response to this.
I
It's
just feel though that if he gets away with it, or if the word gets out that he wants to fire a bunch of people, it's going to make it unsafe for the country. And that's going to be the problem. That these higher ups in the military are going to go, no, 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 no. You do that, and we become vulnerable.
Mhm.
Suddenly, all our people that know how to protect the country are being shifted around and fired and taken out of office and all
Mhm.
these, no,
And
there's a
what
problem.
I'm getting in the cards, I have quite a few cards that show that this is unsafe for him, that he's not safe. I got the
No.
Four of Swords at the base of it. That's the, repose on the casket kind of thing. I got the Eight of Swords as his future in this thing. He's bound, he's, surrounded by, restrictions. And we got betrayal in what people are really thinking about him. And then the Moon. He's not safe. He's
Wow.
he's not safe. I mean, because the way we're looking at this is, what is he getting out of this? What is coming for him?
Well,
Now,
he feels totally safe because he's doing what Trump tells him to do,
yeah,
and that's Trump's his backup. And
I
he
want
figures,
to
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no. Go ahead.
Well, he just figures that Trump is going to save the day no matter what. And he's banking on Trump because
Yeah,
Trump put him there in the first place. And Trump put him in there because he is an alcoholic and he can manipulate the man by
right.
threatening him. So,
Or offering him a drink. Either one. Now, what I want to do is ask that question a different way. How does the military react? Because I was taking it from Hegseth's point of view, but how does the military react?
well, I'm taking it from how the military does react, and
Mhm.
they're going to be looking at each other like, wait a minute, don't, and I get back to the safety of the country. He's
Mhm.
going to if he wants to remove all these people, and if that's what his little speech ends up being about, that you're going to lose your jobs, they're going to be looking around going, something is really wrong here. I see them having their own little meeting, their own, if he does actually bring them all together physically,
Mhm.
they're going to be having some big discussions about there's something very wrong with this and we can't do this. Again, we're talking about the safety of America, leaving the country vulnerable by removing your higher up military people. No, 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 no.
Oh, you
This
got
is
that so right. That's what my cards are saying too. Oh, you got that so right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're going to meet in secret. They're going to have all sorts of messages going back and forth in secret that he will have no knowledge of. And yeah, they're going to work things in such a way that it may seem like they're doing what he's asking them to do, but no real action is being taken.
right. They won't let it look like a mutiny,
Mm-mm.
but they will definitely be in that and in that attitude of
Mm-hmm.
no, we will kiss your ass just to get you out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, no, we're not doing what you're suggesting because it's just not right, and hopefully it's illegal,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
they
this is
just
the
can't do
card
it.
for what is happening for them in the future. They're just rejecting. That's the Four of Cups, just rejecting what he's offering, just not taking it, just saying, no, don't want it. Unless it's got
Right.
bourbon in it, whatever. But the hanged man is the final outcome because they're just going to hang everything up. They're just going to keep everything. And these cards too, I'm noticing that the cards of action are all much more elevated than the one I just threw on Hegseth. I've got kings instead of pages and knights. I've got the emperor instead of a queen. I've got the high priestess crossing the eight of swords with all the or wands with all the stuff, all the action going on. And we have the three of pentacles. So they're going to be studying in secret to figure all this stuff out. It's not going to take them long. These people are smart and they know military strategy. So it's not going to take them long to figure out how to handle this. And our military, not for nothing, has overtaken dictatorships before. Sorry, but we have, you know. So
Well,
they
and
know.
I again, it's just another thing that's happening this month, and I guess now it'll go into October.
Mhm.
But it's these little things that are building up so that collectively, there is a group of people working on this, Um, and you, Colleen, have even mentioned over the last year or so about all the presidents, all the ex-presidents getting together,
Hmm.
all the higher up, like the old speakers of the House, and
Yeah.
mainly a lot of Democrats and stuff. Even though we're hearing that the current Democrats in office aren't really doing too much, there is a bunch of people working behind the scenes as we speak, and they have been for several months now.
Yeah.
But it's this accumulation of weird stuff that is coming out right now. And Hegseth's one of them. Uh, you know the tariffs that Trump keeps bringing up. He's screwing up the economy. He's wiping out the farmers. The immigration thing has gotten way out of hand. All of this stuff is just building up, building up. No health care. He's trying to remove health care. The anti-vaccines. God, it just goes on and on and on. I can't keep up. But
Yeah.
all of this stuff is collectively coming together where they're saying, okay, no more.
And I'm wondering, and I'm going to throw on this, what will the effect be from his speech at the UN? Did he do multiple speeches? Do you know, or it
Who,
was just dumpy?
Trump?
Yeah, was it just one long-winded, awful diatribe?
Well, I'm just focusing and had heard part of the one that he did an hour at the I believe it was at the UN, right?
Yeah, an
Um,
hour.
where he was supposed to be like for 10 minutes, but he rambled on for an hour, and he just talked about how wonderful he was and that he had solved or had been instrumental in ending 7 wars in the world. So I looked into that. And as it ends up, what he did is he did bring together the leaders of the countries that were involved in wars or disputes. At least one of them, there wasn't a war at all. It was just a difference of opinion. But anyway, he claimed that he solved all these wars and it had stopped. It has not stopped in any of the 7. Nothing has stopped.
No.
There was one that got slightly corrected, and I can't remember which one it was, but they said that it had nothing to do with what Trump did.
Yeah.
That was something they were already working on. So it was just that speech was such an embarrassment for the United States. It just was. I watched about 15 or 20 minutes of it. I couldn't stand it anymore. I just had to turn it off because he was just a continual embarrassment and talking about, all the terrible things Biden did and talking about the immigrants. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you talking about this stuff for? And putting down um, NATO,
Yeah.
claiming they haven't helped at all. I had to do this on my own about these 7 countries that were involved in wars. And I'm like, perfect. You didn't do anything either. You did bring some people together to talk about it. And some of these people even signed agreements with each other saying, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we won't do this anymore. Then they went home and they just kept doing what they were doing.
Well, here's what I get. It was good that he gave this speech because the whole world, the leadership of all the world, or at least those ambassadors to the UN, I think they're called ambassadors, um, all those people at the UN saw up close and personal that they cannot trust him, that he is sick, very sick, that he is a madman, that he is definitely an authoritarian. And now they have no qualms about breaking contracts and treaties with him, ignoring all of his BS about the tariffs, and just going their own way. And they will form other alliances and rise up against him,
You're
against
absolutely
economically.
correct.
That the me,
Absolutely
he,
correct.
yeah, he did the same thing for the people around the world as he did for Jimmy Kimmel and Kamala Harris. Selling more books, selling more TV shows. That they will very quickly come together in new alliances and just say, forget him. It's unfortunate for the people of the United States, but we have to protect our own interests, and that's what they're going to do. So
And they're
I
doing
mean,
the same thing with the tariffs. They're just like, okay, the United States wants this a huge amount of money for us to try to sell stuff to them. There's a lot, there's many other countries to sell to. And they're
yeah,
just saying, bye
yeah,
bye, USA.
yeah.
And it's stuff that we really need. Um, I am really concerned about how this is going to work out, and especially when it comes to food and taking care of ourselves. What do we do if we don't have food? Nobody knows. We've never been in a position like that. At least not in my entire life. We never have.
Um,
So,
move to Canada if we don't have food.
oh well, that would be yeah, that would be a plan.
Because if Amazon can't deliver it, what are we going to do?
But yeah, I mean, the things that he is doing, I see that exactly. These leaders of other countries are just like, did you hear what he said? Did you hear that he lied throughout? He continually lied and lied and lied. I don't think there was one honest word spoken in that speech that he
And he,
made.
and he came off especially demented and crazy in
Yes,
this.
he did.
And
Yes, he did.
they're looking at him and going, we're letting an 80-year-old dementia patient who belongs in a memory care unit call the tune. That's what we're doing. We're
And
letting
that is
him
what,
call the tune.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like, no, no, that's not happening. Not happening. Yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad. He really, boy, he knows how to shoot himself in the foot. And the thing is that he really thinks that he's such a, golden boy. His hair's looking better, I must say, though, this week. His hair,
Yes, he has. I
yeah,
think he's got somebody working on his, he might be,
yeah.
maybe he was getting plugs or something
He
because,
changed the part and he doesn't have
yeah.
all of it coming over. He's got a part back here, and I think this is a little piece. I think this is like a little hair piece that is blended quite nicely into his hair. And now the hair that's on the side of his head can be just combed down nicely, and it's nice and washed and styled and stuff. So I think he's got somebody new doing his hair. And maybe that person just puts earplugs in their ears and just sits there and listens and doesn't listen to him while they just do it and take their time, and because he just wants
Well,
to blah blah
and
blah blah blah.
actually his hair, he's losing his hair
Oh,
and
he's lost a lot. Yeah,
it's turned gray. So yeah, he's doing something with his hair because I was kind of surprised how it looked. It did look better,
it looked better. It looked
but
way
he
better.
didn't. He is
Oh
looking really he's looking really unwell.
no. Oh yeah. Those cankles can't be comfortable. That's got to be very uncomfortable.
And now
Very
did you see
uncomfortable.
him today? He comes out. I just glanced. It was like a little news thing on the internet, and he's got these like white golf shoes on, and it just looked weird.
Well, he was probably running off to the links after whatever the hell he was doing to be president. He's
Well,
probably
he's going to a golf tournament or a golf game or something, but
God.
you know, that's the white shoes. I'm like, what? And they're making comments about it, going, look at Trump's white shoes and his white golf shoes. They got the little cleat things on them and stuff.
Mm. Oh God. Okay, so we did one question so far from the chat.
Yeah, I know,
We can pick another one.
and I've had trouble. I didn't star much, and I just stayed on the starred question.
Well,
But
you look at
okay,
the first
let's do
question
this
and
one.
I'll pick one.
Let's
Okay.
do this one.
Oh, well,
This will take not lot
okay.
long.
I don't need cards for this. Will he be fired as FBI director given his despicable performance during the congressional hearing? No, because the Congress and the Senate don't really care. They just want to please Trump. And that goes for the most of the Democrats too. They're scared to death to displease Trump. So no, that's not what is going to get him fired. Once we start getting some people talking about actual, you know, laws and what's really required, and that he lied to Congress, and that once we have something in place where we can bring um, a lawsuit really against him for what he's done, then he will get fired pretty quickly. But right now, no, he's not going to get fired. He's doing what the big man wants him to do. So, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not happening. I'd love to say, oh, yeah, they're all going to be fired. But
No.
no, no, not right now. Right now, they're getting, swag bags and they're getting,
So
extra bonuses.
so we have another question that kind of doesn't sort of goes along with this,
Hmm.
and it's something we should definitely talk about.
Now, that case, I think that will start. And when they get into any kind of discovery in that case, I think it'll get dropped, just like the Murdoch case is,
Yeah.
because that's what Taco does. I mean, Cankles. I mean, what's his name? Dumpy. We'll just say Dumpy. I can always revert.
Trumpadoodle. Trumpadoodle.
Trumpadoodle. Trumpadoodle. Dumpy Doodah.
Yeah,
So,
this thing with Comey is so weird. I mean, they've already investigated it. They already went through it and said we don't there's nothing to charge him with. But now, with Trump's new little lawyer that he's throwing in there who doesn't know what they're doing as a prosecutor.
who was fourth or fifth runner up for Miss Universe?
Oh, okay. So she's hot. So that's why he chose
Yeah,
her.
she came in, I think, one above or one below Mr. K's wife. She was also in that pageant same year
Okay.
and ranked about the same as her. So,
But she is an attorney and she works with, I think, with contracts and stuff. So just the fact that she's an attorney, Trump put her in there because he can totally manipulate her. And
and she's never tried a case.
yeah, she doesn't know what she's doing. So, but he probably showed her this is what I want you to do, and that's what she did, and that's where we're at right now. That he's going to be indicted at least on two charges of, I don't know, lying and something else.
Well, did they get an indictment? Did they go to the
Yeah,
grand
oh
jury and
yeah,
get one?
I think he's
Okay, they
already
did.
been indicted.
Oh,
Um,
lovely. Oh yeah,
you know,
because he did I did see that thing from him where he was like, "Yeah, let's have a trial. Yeah, bring it on." He can't wait, which
yeah,
is
because
really sad
it's
for
been
Stumpy.
Well, he'd been holding it over his head all this time,
Yeah.
and I've been very rude towards this man.
Mhm.
So yeah, he said, "Yeah, let's do a trial."
Yeah,
And
and here's the
he,
thing too, is try as Trump might, this is not the kind of trial that can go to the Supreme Court.
oh, that's good to know.
Well, because Supreme Court is supposed to be, ruling on things pertaining basically to the Constitution, really, and the amendments to the Constitution. If it affects that stuff and it's really going to be something earth shaking that affects the whole population, that's the kind of thing those are the kinds of cases that they're supposed to take. If it's just, a contractual dispute or, something that's really more against two people, which this is, then they don't do it.
Well, I
So,
wasn't Comey looking into the Russian interference? Isn't that what
oh,
he was
that's
doing?
not a constitutional thing.
No, it's not a constitutional thing. But this, I'm thinking, why is Trump so stupid to keep bringing it up? He acts like he's going to make sure that it's dismissed and that there never was any collusion with Russia. And that is an absolute lie. There was, and there has been,
And
and
there
it's been
still
going
is.
on for a long time. You
Although
know,
they are in a little lover's quarrel right now.
yeah, I know. There's a little spat going on right
Well,
now. but, but yeah, and he's saying that Comey lied about what he said about Trump. No, he did not. And I think that Comey would love this to come up so that he can say, "No, this is what you found. This is what we found," and maybe he could bring up his own investigative information at trial and put it in there and say, "See, I told you, I didn't do anything. You did."
yeah. So I got great cards on this for Comey. The sun is going to shine, shine, shine its light on everything. So you're absolutely right. He's going to bring out everything. He's going to try to wangle it so that I don't think it's actually going to go to trial. Honestly, I don't.
No,
I
it
think
probably
somebody's going to
won't.
drop it. And the reason is, again, the sun Discovery, like when they go into Discovery, um, it's not going to be bueno for Dumpy. It's going to be bad because Dumpy has nothing. His attorneys are idiots, and they're not. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. That makes it sound like I don't like attorneys. I work for attorneys. I think attorneys are very highly educated, very intelligent people, and most of the ones I know are very um, they have a very high integrity. They would not lie, and they have to, and just to be an attorney, you're not supposed to lie. You're supposed to be the officer of the court through your whole life, whether you're practicing that minute or not. You have to, be honest about when it comes to the law. But I think all the stuff that's going to come out is really going to scare the bejesus out of Dumpster. And I got the card for overseas stuff. Three of Wands. I got the card for overseas. So that is another reason that Dumpy's going to be really worried about this. And, it could involve more of his family than he would care to have involved. That's another thing. It involves Comey's family. So that we get the family card there. And then we got the Hierophant. So it's the government, is going to be involved. And yeah, I mean, just not, no bueno for anybody.
Yeah, I think that Trump really stepped in it when he just kept pursuing this,
Hmm.
because what it's going to do, it's going to backfire.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to backfire big time, and he's not going to get what he wants. And then he'll just keep fighting that and fighting the next thing and the next thing and try to do everything he can to bring in some other court. Because I'm sure right now he's real irritated that if they did go to court, the judge is he was appointed by Biden.
Obama,
No, I
Biden.
think by Biden. I think it's a Biden appointee.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're not gonna. He doesn't like that,
Yeah.
and because obviously in Trump's mind, anything that's Democrat is a lie and
Yeah.
against him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get over it. What can't we just move on to something important like the cost of food, the
Yeah.
cost of
No,
housing,
no, not while
the
he's in office.
job, the
But here's,
job market.
yeah,
He tried to say in that speech that we were just discussing that, that jobs were up and the economy, there was no inflation. Oh, brother. I wish what he said was true. It's not true. They said that he has somehow, there's been like 400,000 jobs a month coming up. Uh, Biden did like five, six times that amount per month. No, it was Biden that did 400,000 jobs a month. It was Trump that's doing. Oh man, let me see if I can find that. 5,300 jobs is what what Trump comes up with is 5,300 jobs a month. And Biden had something like Biden had 400,000 a month when he was in office. So again, he's talking about Biden's such an idiot and he just screwed everything up and he let all these immigrants pour into the country. And what are we doing now? We're not getting any immigrants. Any immigrants. And I'm thinking, well, thank God. I was so worried about these people that kept coming in that they were just being so mean to and rude. And, now they are actually admitting that a lot of the immigrants that they've put in their little prison camps are not criminals themselves. They didn't commit any crime. They just happen to be in the country. Maybe, I don't know, but because they're the wrong color or they speak a different language or something, they end up in these camps.
yeah, and it just ruins their lives and their families' lives.
Yeah, it's
It's just
just disgusting.
ridiculous.
I just can't
Well,
believe that this is happening.
something that I want to mention about the case with is that something that's going to be really fantastic that comes out of this is that the way he is standing up to Dumpy is the way we all need to stand up to everything around us. We all need to hit it head on, meet it head on. Don't be afraid of it. Don't back down. Don't cower. Go ahead and confront it head on, peacefully, calmly, not with violence at all, but just confront it. And that's the role model that Comey really is. And that's why he's going to be important in the days to come, because he has been tortured by this man for over what, 10 years? I mean, it's going on 10 years that he's been, really tortured. And
Mm-hmm.
he is still resisting. His daughter is resisting. And his daughter got fired because of her father, really. Not, well, her work wasn't adding anything to Dumpy's good well wishes, but you know, the fact that he is standing up to him, and she's also suing him too. So there's another lawsuit there with another Comey. This is so important. It's just so important that people know that you can fight this, you can stand up to it, you can confront it, and I think Comey will be successful. Either probably the lawsuit will be dropped, and there may be some talk of a financial settlement, but maybe not. I don't know. That's a little iffy. No, bottom line is Comey is going to be pleased as punch when it gets dropped, and he's still going to talk about it. I feel he's still going to bring it out and say, "This is how you do it, folks. This is." I mean, maybe not. He's not that kind of guy, really, but he's going to say, "See, we prevailed. This is what you can do in the face of fascism." Really, it's
Yes,
really, really
yeah,
good.
yeah, it will be something to that effect. I just wanted to put this up
Hmm.
here to thank this person, Dina Marie, for the donation here.
Hi, Dina. Hi, thank you so much. That you're you're so generous. Just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How worried do we need to be about the military conferences? Hitler pledge? No, it's not going to be that. I mean, they would walk out of that because they've already
But there
pledged
is
their oath. They've
finally
already out.
there is people comparing Trump to Hitler. Finally,
Yes.
because
Hmm.
it's finally coming
Hmm.
out. So yeah, you don't need to worry about this conference, but I think that what's going to happen is this is going to help propel finally doing something about this administration. This is all stuff that is coming in this month and next month that will be added to the nail in the coffin that changes this administration for the
Hmm.
better for us,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
and having
Agreed.
him removed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they they can't you a slave cannot serve two masters. I mean, they're not slaves, but when you make a vow to one philosophy, one ideology, one constitution, when you make a pledge, a vow to that, you can't then pledge your loyalty to something else and mean it and serve it. You can only serve one or the other. I mean, if you're talking about, well, will I color my hair or will I take a new job? Two different things, two different animals, right? I'm not talking about something like that. But will I troth myself to this philosophy or will I go to this philosophy? You can only go to one, really, and be sincere and live with yourself. So they're not gonna pledge to anything weird like that. What else do we got?
Okay, well, this is a little bit off the subject, but people want to know this to Colleen. And so they want to know about the price of the tickets, and then somebody else wrote they were curious about it too. And then Brian, one of our favorites here, he looked it up and said they were about 250 a ticket.
Yeah, we paid
So
a little bit more than that. We had what's known as orchestra seats, which meant that we were on the first floor of the theater, and then above that are balcony seats. And we had a very good view because the floor is graded so that it goes, up like that, like most theaters. And we were actually all the way in the back, and we could see everything. So yeah, it's right around there, a little bit more, but yeah.
just like going to a concert.
Have you tried to go to a concert these days? No, it's
Oh
a lot
no.
cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than a concert.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I'm living in the past.
yeah. Me too. But it was a historical event. I didn't want to miss it, And my friend Kathy dragged me into the city, and God bless her for driving and doing all of that and taking care of the tickets and everything. I was so grateful for that. And yeah, just really glad. We also, at the very end, as we were going out, Rosie from Rosie's Insights was there, and I met her very briefly. Just, hi, I'm Colleen. Hi. You
Wow.
know, yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, but the people that were there were all just really there for her. It was such a great feeling. It was such a great feeling. It's just great. Just
Well, every
wonderful.
time I see her, on TV or on the internet, I just feel like she's just got it all together. And I just, I know people are still wondering. I have said all along that I thought she would be president, and that I actually thought she'd be a replacement for 47, and that 47 would be removed, and that she would be the 47th president. I don't know. Maybe I'm living in a pipe dream and things do change. I've also heard that maybe she's not even interested in that. I'm not really buying that at all. I think that she is level headed and realistic and is focusing on that we've got a huge problem, and she knows that. She told us before he was ever elected what kind of problem this was going to be, and she was absolutely right on every single thing she said.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know that it's so much that she wants to be president now, but I think she wants to be part of the solution to the problem.
Yes.
I really think that she's there with that.
She wants to help right the ship. She does. I just want to
Yeah.
point out too, guys. Hillary was right too. Hillary said those things about him, and she was right too. And she never got to be president, and she should have been president too.
Yeah.
So, but both of those women are going to be instrumental in helping to right the ship. I
Oh, yeah, I think
firmly,
absolutely. I
firmly
think there's
believe
a
that.
lot of women,
Yes.
involved in this that
Yeah.
are just being. They may never get the credit. It may never come out. I don't think they care. That's not the. What's important is to collectively work together to change things so that we are not an authoritarian government, so that we do not lose our democracy, and that that this is a country of freedom.
Yeah.
And so, and right now, it just everything doesn't look right. Everything is
Yeah.
upside down.
Mm. But October is going to be an explosive month. A lot of things are going to happen, and I don't mean explosions like they're going to blow buildings up or something like that. I just mean that it's going to be very dramatic. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I feel like a lot of stuff went on in September, and Kathy and I talked about this a lot because we had a lot of time in the car. Um, but that things have been happening. Things are developing. It is not for him just for Dumpy, I mean, it is not just a straight shot to his, winning. It just isn't. He is not winning. He is losing a lot. He's losing a lot of lawsuits. The majority of his lawsuits losing, not having them happen. His executive orders, most of them overturned, can't be used, found invalid, can't, found illegal to be illegal. The stuff with ICE arresting people, that is being pulled back. I mean, just because they can't actually find enough people to so-called arrest and take out of the country. It's horrible what they're doing to the ones that they are finding. It's just horrible.
It
And
is.
and you'll notice that they have really ramped up their rhetoric to accuse the left with what the right is really doing. Do you notice that's what they're doing? They're
Yeah,
just
they
saying
are.
that we are doing what they are really doing. And I don't see it. I mean, honestly, the Democrats have been so ineffectual as a body that good luck that they could do all the stuff that they're being accused of. And I'm sorry, but
True.
the,
That's so
the, the
true.
leadership of the Democratic Party is like tits on a board. I mean, they are just useless. Useless. Bernie's good. But I could name a bunch of names. You know the ones that are good. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are on the news, and not real news, but like Midas Touch and some of those programs, and they're speaking out and trying to take action. Excuse me. And Gavin Newsom is great. Pritzker is great. Some of the other governors are great because they have to be because their states are kind of under attack. So you
Yes, we're
know,
totally under attack.
yeah,
It's affecting everything. But all these things that keep coming up and then they kind of get shoved aside, like the Epstein files where he's tried and tried and tried to get away from that. And then
mhm.
I love it that when he went into the UK that they put his picture up on the side of a castle and projected it up there.
Chef's
And
kiss. Chef's kiss, the way they, what would you call that? Pranked him. Just,
And
oh,
the whole thing is though that there's even Republicans that see this reports about the Epstein files and are like, "Wait a minute. What? A pedophile is a president of the United States?"
ding,
You
ding,
know,
ding, ding.
it's really it's bothering people. And it's just like some of these other things that keep coming up that you hear about it one day but then he moves on so fast to some other weirdness that you kind of forget about it. Well,
Yep,
all those weird things that have come up, a lot of people haven't forgot about them.
right.
I'm talking about politicians,
Hmm.
people that can actually make a difference.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're collecting all this information, and that this is what will be used. They've got so much to pick from now, and just
Yeah,
exactly how they want to line it up. But I've said for a while now, they have to be very careful about how they do this because you don't want to leave the United States vulnerable. In other words, you don't want to just take him out and then they'll look around like, well, they're putting Vance up. No, we're not doing that either. We're just, I think that what they'll my guess is that you will suddenly hear that Trump's had a some sort of a health crisis, and nobody would be surprised over that. But then suddenly you just don't see him, and then things start to change because they
mm,
they can't
mm.
say he's been arrested for treason. That would just be the Russia and China would just leave us so vulnerable to
It would
have
light the
some.
match. It would just light the
Yeah,
match.
so
So
it
much
won't come
bad
up.
needs
It
to
won't
come
come
out of
up
it.
like
Yeah.
that. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if they did say, "Uh-oh, Trump had a heart attack, or Trump had this, or had stroke, or
Trump took a
something."
little fall, broke his hip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that wouldn't be enough to actually keep him out of the limelight. But uh,
yeah, might be.
I
Might
think it
be.
will be an excuse, and it
Oh,
could
can you
it
see
could.
him? Can you see him walking with a walker or a cane? Oh no. Oh no. No.
But it could go both ways. That he actually does have a health crisis of some kind, and
Sure.
then they step in. I
Hmm.
just haven't. What I'm trying to figure out is how they're going to do all this because of it's going to be because of the illegal things he has done, the treasonous things he has done. But how do they keep Vance out of there too at the same time? I mean, I've got it in my head
Well,
that it's just got to go a certain way, but
yeah. I
it
don't
won't
know.
it won't go. I know, I've been hearing so much from my guides about this that, and it does fluctuate and change just like it does in reality in the real world. That it just is just I can't you can I get one idea in my head and I kind of stick with it. One thing about being a psychic is you don't want to be linear. You want to be open to everything. I have a little hard time about that. I sometimes get stuck with being linear, but yeah, no, I do see that. That it'll be some sort of an event that I think they're just going to be really sneaky and really casual about it. Not casual, but I said not too long ago that people are working together, and the guides keep telling me that Trump will be surgically removed. And when they first said that, I'm like, what does that mean? And I thought, well, it means precision. It'll be precise. It'll be, uh, you've got to be really careful in surgery. And so and it'll also come from, and then they started talking to me about the operating room and all this medical jargon of how this was going to work, that there is currently people presenting this stuff in the operating room to surgically remove him. So I don't know what that really means, but I'm just telling you what I've heard. And I
Well,
just,
when all the military brass are together in the United States for this meeting with Hegseth, that would be a really good opportunity for them to all get together and talk about this surgical precision.
it would, wouldn't it?
I've often felt that part of what they will do is they will kind of piggyback on top of an event that the Trump administration uh, starts or implements, and they will use that as a way. It's like in Tai Chi, when you move with your opponent, instead of opposing them and pushing back, you move with them and then you overtake them like a wave. You go over their heads and pull everything back. So I think it'll be something like that, where they use their own actions to thwart their plans. I think it'll be something like that. That's what I think. One thing that I want to leave people with, though, because we are at just past an hour, is it's really, really, really important right now that you, as light workers, as people who spread love and joy and light to other people in your world, it's really, really important that you um, visualize and maybe even write down what it is that you do want the world to look like when we're on the other side. What do you want? Do you want, to have uh, universal health care? Do you want free college? Do you want your kids to have, health care from the time that they're born and not have to depend on a job for health care, something like that? But all the things, do you want food to be easier to get? Do you want your job to be easier? Do you want to live in a different way? Do you want to live close enough to your job where you don't need a car? Do you want just everything? Just think about all the ways that you want the world to be perfect, to be what you really think the world should be. Now is the time for people to be visualizing the best of what we can be, the best of what you want things to be, and put that out into the universe so that that starts to manifest. I'm not saying that you're really going to change whether he is in office or out of office. That's not the point. Don't focus on him, because that just gives him more energy and power. Focus on yourselves and your family and what you want in the future, because it's coming. And the more it comes closer, it comes to you, the more you can influence what it looks like. And so I would encourage you all to just spend some time really um, loving that vision and bringing loving that vision into existence. Really, just
Yeah.
really, really spend some energy on that. That's
You
so, so
know,
important right
and
now.
what you're saying is what many psychics have been saying on here. That
Mhm.
just to project outward to what would do you see the future being, ideally what the future would be for you, and
Yes,
it really just by creating that you can manifest it.
yes,
Uh, and when you have many people going in a positive direction on that, and good point about don't be thinking about is he in office or out of office, because yes, you're right, that gives that section of things more energy. We don't want that. Just ignore that and assume that the universe is headed in the right direction.
it
Don't
is.
worry about it.
It
But
is.
yes, good
Yeah,
good point, Colleen.
yeah. And when you do find yourself thinking about, say, you have relatives that are really still enamored of him, or you have very right thinking friends, send them love and suggest to them, if they'll hear it, that they should envision what they want their future to look like. They don't have to talk about it to you, because you don't want to hear them say, "Oh, no immigrants." You don't want to hear that. But just, how do they want their life to look? And but send them love, send them lots and lots of love, because it's better for your soul to do that than it is to dwell on anything negative. Even if somebody has done wrong to you, send them love. It's just so much better for you. It's better for your health, makes your stomach calmer, makes your digestive tract easier. Send them love because then you'll sleep better at night. You'll get up better. You'll just be healthier if you don't dwell in negative things. It's so detrimental to dwell in fear and negativity. And you want to stay away from that as much as possible.
So I just want to say thank you, Brian. I love that. Scalpel, forceps, sponge. Okay, let's close them up.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. And maybe send that kind of imagery to the military heads. Maybe send them some positive visualization too. We are powerful beings. Our energy, our thoughts are super, super powerful, but we don't take advantage of it. And now is the time to do it, to take advantage of it. Daydream, visualize, meditate, do those things and use your imagination to bring about a beautiful future.
Perfect.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for your questions. And thank
Yes.
you, my sister, for being here with me. This was just a delight. I was so happy
Well,
that you're
thanks for
here.
having me. Yes, I mean, it has been a while, and I love doing this show with you.
Yeah,
Colleen and we just play off each other. We do it works out perfectly. I guess probably because we're sisters, but
probably.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
And look, we've dressed alike tonight, too. That's
We
weird.
didn't mean to. We did
No.
not mean to. It just
We
happened.
do live 3,000 miles apart. She lives on the
That's
West
right.
Coast.
That's
She's
right.
on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast. So, I mean, we can't coordinate things like that. So, all right. Okay, everybody, you take care. Much love to all of you. Visualize the future. It's super, super important, and you'll get what you want. And
And
we'll
thanks
be
for
here
everybody that showed up in the chat.
Yes,
Sorry we didn't get to more of your questions, but we
there's
got
always next
involved.
week. There's always next week.
Yeah,
All right.
right, right.
Take care. Take care,
Bye bye.
everybody. We love you. Bye bye.